You were at that inquiry yesterday. What did you think of Christine Holgate's testimony?
I think it was very good, very well presented. She stuck to the facts, she explained her case, and this is why I pushed for this inquiry to actually happen, and it was very important to happen. I think Christine was badly treated, not only by the board itself, but also by the Prime Minister in his comments on the floor of Parliament.
She wants a public apology from him. Should he give it?
Of course he should, and I've actually stated that myself. You know, to come out with the facts is, well, if she doesn't stand aside, well, then she can go. The whole fact is, I don't think the Prime Minister really understood what it was about. He heard in the Senate estimates that she bought these watches, which happened in 2018, 2 years prior to this. So it wasn't in a COVID year when people were losing their jobs. I think that he spoke before he engaged the brain, and he wasn't advised properly with it. And I think there's more to this, Laura. That's why I pushed for the inquiry. I think it's got more to do with the BCG report that was tabled yesterday. I think it's about, under that report, they're looking at privatising parcel posts. They're looking at taking away the financial services through the post offices. They're looking at letter delivery of only 2 days a week. And with it will go 8,000 jobs. Christine Holgate opposed that report. She was totally opposed to it. And another thing too, she took over an organisation that was not going very well at all. And we're talking about an $8 billion organisation now. She actually reduced the corporate credit card by $60 million. She's got small business post offices, mums and dad businesses, make them viable. She's increased, the employment of the place. She's done an excellent job in bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars, and especially it was over about the $220 million that she got the deal with the banks through the post office's financial services. So she's been criticised wrongly.
Are you clear on why she's lost her job? Can she possibly be reinstated in your view?
I think it was a ploy by the government to announce, and the board to announce the new CEO on the day before the hearing started. That flies in the face of our democracy and the Senate procedure of holding this inquiry. I think they did it on purpose so that they believed that there'd be no opportunity to offer her back a job, which she would take up at a drop of a hat because she loves her job. She's passionate about it. She was forced to stand down. At the time when the chair said he got her yes in saying she would stand down, that wasn't the case. She kept arguing with him that she wanted to take 2 weeks annual leave. He was just following the orders of the shareholder ministers, the communications and the finance minister, and of course the PM's comments on the floor of Parliament on the 22nd of October. So at that same time, she was supposed to be having talks with the chair, who at the time also said he was having board meetings. She was actually having emails and telephone conversations with Tony Nutt, who was a director on the board, helping her draft a statement saying she will take 2 weeks annual leave. There's a lot of conflicting evidence, and I don't believe that the chair has been upfront in giving us the real indication of what went on.
Well, what should happen now? I mean, the chair says he's not resigning, and she was asked about the woman issue yesterday. Do you think there might be a gender element to this?
Look, a couple of the committee members started heading down that track on their opening comments. Christine didn't play that up. Well, people say she did, and she feels it is. She was badly treated. We had an in-camera session and it was horrendous what she told us, what she went through and what happened. People say, oh, toughen up. Well, I tell you what, I've been through it, Laura. And it is horrendous what can happen to you with the media attack, with the propaganda, with the monies that she said she spent $700,000 on pot plants. That was former Ahmed. She said she didn't have the support of the board. Well, it was the former chair who actually wrote a card saying thank you to one of the executives who received a watch. So they were, and they said, oh, the board didn't approve it. The board didn't have to approve it. She had authority up to $150,000 to give in bonuses, or $50 million for corporate organisations. So she was well within her rights. She was cleared by the Maddox investigation of no wrongdoing. She has done nothing wrong. She should be offered her job back. The chair should actually go. I don't believe him. He has lied to Senate estimates about not having anything to do with the BCG report. He said he knew nothing about it. That's not true, and evidence that's come forward. And I believe that she is owed an apology from the Prime Minister, and she should be offered her job back. But we're not finished with this, because we are going to have another day of hearing.
As you say, you've been through it. So do you think there's a small element of this being against Christine Holgate because she is a woman?
No, I think there's more to it than that. I think it's about the running of the business, and that when she came in, the business was running corporate, what can I say? They weren't paying the right amount for delivery of their parcels. So she came and said, hey, this has got to be run as a business. She actually increased the price. I think there's been a lot of complaints and whinging about how it's been run, but she's making profits for the taxpayers of Australia. And she's running the business. She's employed more people. She's actually made that a profitable organisation where other post offices around the world have gone under during COVID. Yeah. So this woman has done a job. The chair, he complimented her, and he said she's done a fantastic job. Well, if someone under stressful circumstances offers their resignation, I said, why didn't you hold it off? Why didn't you say, are you in a position to do this, Christine? Duty of care. Why don't you take time? You do a fantastic job. No, because he didn't do that, he's had it from the shareholder ministers and the Prime Minister. She had to go.
Yeah, really interesting indeed. And as you say, there's another day of hearings to go. I just want to quickly ask you about the vaccine rollout. The government is now put forward and the Prime Minister is looking at doing 2 meetings weekly with the National Cabinet. We're back on a war footing. The vaccine rollout has been particularly slow, but we heard from Greg Hunt yesterday that even with Australia being vaccinated, that doesn't necessarily mean opening up the borders. Which leads me to this question. What is the point of the vaccine if that is not going to happen?
Laura, you're exactly right, and I know someone who came from America, had the vaccination, was in the medical profession, and actually had to do still the quarantine. So although you have the vaccine, it doesn't stop you from actually still getting COVID. It reduces the symptoms. So you could have the vaccine. And of course, there's problems at the moment, and there's a lot of talk of blood clotting and people that have actually died from having the vaccination. But I'm not anti-vaccine, having it. It's my choice not to. But I would encourage people to do the research, understand, and you make the choice, is it best for you to have the vaccination? But a lot of countries around the world now are not going to give the vaccination to people who are actually 60 years and under. So, there's concerns about it. And this is what I said. We're not in a position to force people to actually have the vaccination. Let's see what happens with it around the rest of the world, then make an informed decision. But no, they're rushed into giving it, and now they're backing away from it. So I'd say, tread easy on this. This is a vaccination that has not had enough time to understand the ramifications, if it doesn't have, on some people.
Pauline Hanson, appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thanks, Laura. Bye.